Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahman, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryandam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sakana Vabadu, Sakano Punaktu, Sakaviryam Karavavakai, Tejasvina Vadidamastuma Vitvishavakai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudevendra Indram Natva Jnana Pradam Gurum Mukshunam Hidarthaya Tattvabodha Abhidiyate. Namaskaram. Good morning, happy Deepavali and happy New Year to many of you. We will have a quick recap so that we can remember what we discussed and where we are progressing now. Obviously, Deepavali was given a lot of joy. Of course, when the joy subsides and too much of sweets will give you sudden remembrance about the blood pressure and the diabetic medications and things like that. So, and sometimes even also we look at what happened, why somebody didn't call us, didn't wish us. So we get this kind of problems finding happens. The joy of a day suddenly turns into a bit of a remorse and dukkha. Then we go down in our biorhythm. Then the calendar says, oh, this is Kartika, Trikartika, go celebrate again. So we start celebration again. Joy subsides, dukkham, next function comes in. See, this is the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma, because life is to live happily. Celebration is all about the whole world is for you. You have to be centered, you know. Self-centered is not a bad word. In fact, if you think about it, all of our happiness is self-centered. Even a mother's love to the child, because mother feels happy that she's able to love the child. Even a guy who commits suicide is happy because the suicide is going to give him some sort of a relief. Everything is about being happy for oneself. But in life, you have this both happiness and sadness keep on coming, like the darkness and the day. Like the Deepavali we celebrate in the morning, like just now I think we mentioned about Sandhya Mandirams. When the darkness and the light, the day and night, one bridges the other. So there must be a cusp of a point where one abides in the other, is it not? If the day comes out of the night or vice versa, there must be a point of time when they don't exist separately. They abide in one another. This is called Sandhi. So if the duality of polarity of happiness and sadness is agitating us, we need to have a position where such polarity doesn't exist. That's why in time-wise, the Santhya columns where this it's called Pradosham and the Devata is put to as Shiva, Rudra, because one abides in the other, and you worship it. You meditate on those times. Even if you take then what about the noon? Why do we do Madhyanikam or midnight puja? When both are merging into one is Sandhi, but one is an absolute maximum. When you have extreme happiness, you become liberated. When you have ecstasy, everything goes away. Same is the case when you have extreme tragedy. When you are completely lost, nothing to help you, you are in a tragic despair situation, you become wise. Nothing, it gives you freedom. It's a great insight in this. It's very difficult to, an experience of yours life may give you this. In extreme tragedy also, there's a place of bliss in this. That's why the Ushat Kalam, the midday and the midnight, or prayers, contemplation for it. So we seek happiness. Then we say, okay, this place is, even, okay, I understand everything, but everybody is disturbing me. So I need to go in some place to be quiet. So even the learned one goes to the, remote places, to the caves and sit there and meditate. Even we at our home, we say, okay, I go and sit and meditate somewhere. But then you sit there after some time, you might have shunned the world outside, but the world comes into your mind. So it is completely futile, whether you go to Rishikesh or Tiruvannamalai or wherever you want to be there, it's a completely useless because you are able to create another world. The thoughts will come to you. I'm driving to the point because you can see the pursuit of happiness requires right timing and the right place. That's what we think. And the Sanatana Dharma gives you every day is a good day. Celebrate. If you want to have very specific contemplation, take those Sandhi columns, Ushad columns. You want a quiet place, go to the quiet place. But then you realize your happiness and sadness, the way that we nurtured ourselves, is not just a Swadharma, it's not just myself. Because I have somehow entangled my happiness with your happiness. If example, if Natuji doesn't give me good morning, I get upset. So I find a reason to find entwined with other world. So this pindam is somehow connected to the andam, the outside world of it. Why it is? That is why the Tattvabodha is telling you, this is because your body, your mind, your Sukshma Shariram, Sthula Shariram, your instruments of Bhogatma, Bhoga Ayatanam, you remember that? Experiencing the happiness, sadness, you need this instrument. These are made up of the same stuff by which the object of experience is made up of. Therefore, the world that you are experiencing is no different from the experiences, instruments, your body and mind. My Sukshma Sarinam, my Sthula Sarinam is no different from the Sthula Bhutam and the Sukshma Bhutam of the outside world, which means the Vyashti view, the microcosmic view of myself, and the Samashti view, the whole world perspective, are coming from the same creation process. This is what we are going to study. This is what we are studying now. We started studying it. This subject, this is not important. Intellectually understanding is not important. Now, why are we coming to this Vedanta classes and Gita classes? For some, it may be giving a very intellectual stimuli. Now you get something new, challenging ideas. You want to reconfirm your thought or oppose your thought. For some, it is pure bhakti. They see as seeing God in these lectures, in the meaning. For some, it gives some inexplicable peace. You don't understand. Doesn't matter. It just gives you a peace. Indefinable is a part of the Jnana Yoga, Jnana Marga, any spiritual marga. But the gates are open slowly and slowly, so that you can unentangle for happiness with anything around you, but be the Swadharma, the Buddha, the Jnana Swarupa. But believe me, this is not something which is privileged to a great Mahatmas only, because it is there in everybody. It is there. We do have this kind of aha moment, but we cannot hold it. So what we did was, therefore, to understand this Samashti Vichara, the Guru taught If I can move this cursor. The Panchabhuta Abhivyakti. Tata Akasha Samputaka. Akashat Vayuhu. Vayus Tejaha. Tejas Apaha. Abhyah Prithvi. We saw this before. The creation, again, the creation, we call it Srishti. We are going to negate it in the later stage, is in the grace of Parabrahman. The grace of Parabrahman is called, the power of Parabrahman is called Shakti, Maya. So for the understanding of transcendation, moving away from a stage to one stage to other, we see the Brahman into two with the escort of Maya, you call Ishvara. So Ishvara Maya, Ishvara Shakti, Narayana, Narayani, Shiva Shakti, whatever way you want to call it. We submit all the creation to that power of Maya. So Tadaga means the Maya. From the Maya, the Akasha arrived. The Akasha here is the Sukshma Akasha, the very subtle Akasha. Again, we discuss this. For everything that you see, a gross thing, there's always a subtle thing. A speech comes out of the thought. Thought is subtler than the speech. The thought comes out of the feeling. The feeling is subtler than the thought. The feeling comes from samskaras, which is much more subtle. If I can understand the gross part with certain tools, what the Yoga Tantras tell you is that you can also understand the subtleness of it by sharpening the mind, sharpening your intellect, and purifying your heart. So all this we do, all this devotion, bhakti, seva, is to do those two things, Chitta Shuddhi and Sthira Buddhi. Very sharp intellect and a very pure mind. So once it is there, all this meaning will just expand in front of you very easily. So we saw this, and then we said, Tata is Maya, and then we injected a factor, an X factor, to move from the cause to the effect. From the Maya, the Akasha comes in, means it is carried by an effect. The effect we said is Sukshma Shabda. Shabda is the sound. The Sukshma Shabda, the very subtlest of the noise, is attributed to the Akasha. So if you want to have a very gross example for it, the grossest is the sound. More subtle than the grossest form is the radiation, electromagnetic radiation. Because all the spectrum of light, power, everything is carried in the EM. So even subtler than that is the Sukshma Shabda. So Akasha. Then sequentially, it's a krama. Sequentially, in the Sukshma Akasha is taken. We said the effect is Sukshma Vayu. That is coming from the Sparisa. Sparisa means the sense of touch. So the Akasha, the space, the quality is the sense of sound. Next comes is the Vayu. The Vayu, you have the sense of touch. Like the wind just touches you. But because it inherited from the Akasha, every inheritance carry the parent model class attributes. So Akasha's attributes is what? Sukshma Shabda. So Sukshma Vayu came from the Akasha. Therefore, it must inherit the Shabda as well. So right now we just keep it as one unique one. So that's a Sukshma Sparsa. So I ask you to think about the other things. So I'm sure you would have thought about it. So in summary, from the Maya came the Sukshma Akasha with the effect of subtle space. From there comes Sukshma Vayu with the quality of touch. It is a plus sign because it inherits, therefore, the sound aspects and the touch aspects are there in the air. If you take the grossest air, remember the air that you touch is not the Sukshma Bhuta, it's a Sthula Bhuta. We have not come to that point how it is created. But you can see in the air, there is a sense of sound. You can hear the wind, you can touch it. From the Vayu came the Agni. Agni is, the gross form is the fire. It's got a form. Therefore, now the third quality is the form. It is inherited from the Vayu. Therefore, there is a sense of touch. Can Agni be touched? You can experiment that if you like. So now from the Agni came the Apaka, the water. You know, you look at the sea, it's a massive ocean, cold water in Arctic. If you go underneath, it's all fire. So from the fire comes the water. If you have time, one day we talk about the Mantra Pushpam. And Mantra Pushpam is a highly philosophical text. It talks about the creation in a different way. There we talk about how the Chandran becomes full of water. Now you see, I don't know if you've been watching the news recently. Now they're thinking that all the scientific discovery on the lunar space is not entirely correct, because after all, moon has got water. So there is a race against starting now. It is not in the gross form that we see water as it is, because we are looking for water in the form it is. But now there's scientific thinking that there is water there. So from the Agni, the Apaka, from Apaka, the Prithvi. Prithvi is, we say Bhumi. It's just not the Bhumi. Anything solid is Prithvi. Bhuvanam means a graha where life forms can exist. There are, under Bhagirath, there are billions and billions of planets, stars. Some are called Bhuvanas. Why? We will see that. Where the conditions of a certain life form can exist. That means a sthula form, gross form has to exist. This process of creating a livable form is called Panchikarana. But we are talking even before that. So this is the Sukshma Bhuta. We briefly touched last class. We summarize it now. This is all very simple text. Don't need to really, don't need to remember anything. It's just to understand that there is some good thoughts have gone through here. So this Panchatanmatra, Pancha Mahabhutas. Mahabhuta means the primordial elements, Sukshma in nature, Akasha, Vayuhu, Agnihi, Apaha, Jalaha, or Prithvi. Now, therefore, if you put differently, you remember I told you, Maya, the power of Ishvara, is Mithya Swarupa. What is Mithya Swarupa means? Don't think illusion. Mithya means that which gives us an experience, but not having an independent existence. Shakti, like a chaya, like a shadow. It animates, it creates, but it is abiding in the Brahma, the Ishvara. Ishvara controls the Maya. But it also said, we also said, it is Gunatmika, Sattva, Raja, Tamo, Guna. So if you look at this, I put some circles there. So first one is Akasha, Sukshma Akasha, Sukshma Vayu, Sukshma Agni, Sukshma Apaha, Prithvi. I just try to give you some color code. Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. It is not nothing to scale. Nobody can say in what proportion each one is there. We don't need to worry about that. But we can say because it came out of the Maya, the mother Maya, it inherits the attributes of Maya, which are Sattva, Raja, Tamo, Guna. When these attributes, because Maya come from Ishvara, therefore if you start praying to Ishvara as a Saguna Brahman, with thousands of Kalyana Gunas of Ishvara, it's great because Maya is got Gunapati. When the Maya resides in the Ishvara, with all the gunas are there, both good and bad. That's why some Swamis are looking horrible with the tongues out and killing everything. But if you don't want to see it, we can just say Kalyana Guna. But if you see a Brahman, we say Maya Rahita. Yeshwara is Brahma. We call it Nirguna. There is no guna, it's beyond the gunas. Okay, that's aside the point. So remember this, there are independent Sukshma Akasha coming out of the Maya. From there, it derives the other four Mahabhutas. So we have now learned about the Sukshma Bhuta, how it created. Of course, we can go deeper into this, which is not needed for our study, so we stop it there. But from Sukshma Bhuta, if you take the Sadguna, Sattva-guna is what? Knowledge, balance. Now we have to create the Sukshma Sarira. Remember, imagine the whole universe as one person. Remember when we were today, now we are all called, if you want a common name to us, we are Vishwa. In a Jagrata state, remember this class we discussed, when you transact in the world, you are taking the role of a Vishwa. When you go to sleep and you dream, you create your own world and you experience it. That time, your identity is called Taijasai. Dreamer. Remember that. So therefore, if I say the whole universe is one person, as a macrocosmic person, you need a name for it. So the Upanishad gives you a name. The gross manifestation of the whole universe, which I think we saw in the Bhagavad Gita, Vishwarupa Darshanam, is called Virat. It's Virata Purusha. When you can see the whole universe as one cosmic person, the gross form, Sakasratisha Purusha, Sakasracha, Sakashtabhat, thousands of faces, thousands of things, is called Virat. So in the class Virat, we have with him. So when we have Sukshma Sarira, a Stula Sarira, the cosmic person's Stula Sarira is Virat. What is his Sukshma Sarira? Is Hiranyagarbha. So whenever you say Hiranyagarbham, Garbhastham, so what you're saying, we are looking at we are associating ourselves, our mind, our internal subtleness to the universal mind, the cosmic mind. So therefore here, when you talk about the Sukshma Bhuta and Sukshma Sarira, we're talking about the Sukshma Sarira of the cosmic person. In other words, the world. So these 5 Jnana Indriyams, we had 5 Jnana Indriyas we saw for us. So therefore, the cosmic person also have Jnana Indriyas. It's no difference, exactly same, 5. Therefore, if I have a mind, if I have a vision to see, you got a vision to see, the cosmos has a vision to see, which means if I can see the world, remember this, it's a great insight. The world is seeing you. So it is not that only that we can see, everything else is seeing us as well. So this Jnana Indriyani come from this. Here you look at it. These 5 Jnana Indriyanis come from 5 Sukshma Bhutas, each contributing to 1. Akasha is going to generate 1 Indriyam, Prithvi going to do 1, Agni going to do 1, Vayu going to do 1, Jala going to do 1. So there are 5 Jnana Indriyani by each of the Sukshma Bhuta. Then the 5 imagine this 5 people, yeah, okay? There are 5 guys with all this thing to give it away. Each one gives from the Sattva Guna, they got 3 bags, Sattva bag, green bag, Rajas bag, and a Tamas bag. Sattva bag, the space takes out and say, okay, you have 1 Jnanendriyam, I'm going to give you. Each one gives like this. There are 5 Jnanendriyas. Then they think, okay, they put all their Sattva Guna bags together, mix it and give us 4 more. So that's why I'm putting there, from all Sukshma Bhutas Sattva Guna, 4 Antakarana comes in. Karana means instrument, Anta means inside. What are the 4 instruments inside? We studied that before. Manas, Buddhi, Chittam and Ahankara. Comes from the Sattva Guna of the subtle Bhutas, all mixed together. Then the teacher is going to teach about, so this one, if you put it together, the green bag is not empty. Whatever they want to give from the green bag is finished. They say, fine, done, go back in the queue. Sattva Guna has given us 5 Jnanendriyams and 4 Antakarana. 9 has come. Then they take the red bag, Rajas. From that, each one again, pick up the red bag, Rajas Guna, and then give us 1 Karmendriya. Akasha takes red bag. Okay, I'll give you 1 Karmendriya. Agni 1, Vayu 1, Jalam 1, Prithvi 1. You know the next step. Then they put all the red bags together, mix it, and create 5 pranas. All sounds familiar to you because when we analyze our own self in a microcosm, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 5 pranas, 4 Antakaranas, 19 parts we studied. So he has already given 5 Panchamaha Bhutas in the previous step. Here he is telling these 19 parts come from the Sattva Rajas Gunas. So the red bag is finished. Now they're given 24 tattvas they have given now. This is what the Guru said. I will explain the Srishti by 24 tattvas. So this we will see. I'm explaining this now because the text is very simple. It's just a word meaning. We can go through it. So I summarize this. From the Maya came Panchamahabhutas. Each Bhuta start from the one previous Bhuta. The first one is Akasha. Akasha Vayu, Vayu Agni, Agni Jala, Jala Prithvi. The 5 Mahabhutas are created. They are there. We cannot see, we cannot smell. Then we know that each Bhuta has got 3 bags of gunas. He took a Sattva gunas. Each one gave 1 Jnanendriyams. 5 Jnanendriyams we got. Then mix that Sattva guna, give 4 Antakaranas. Then they say, I am finished my Sattva guna contribution to the world. They stay back. Then they took the red bag, Rajas guna, Rajoguna, did 5 Karma Indriyanis, one each other. And they put the bags together, mix it out, and took out 5 pranas. The insight that we must have when they give, take Jnanendriyani, what is a Jnanendriyam? Seeing is a Jnanendriyam. Not the eye, you remember that? I'm seeing through with this Upanayanam, my glasses. From the glasses, then I have my eyeball. Gold up, I told you this. But Indriyani is something inside subtle. But that can only see, it can't do and it can't hear. So this, because it came from one particular Sukshma Bhuta, each Pramanam can only do one thing because it comes from one particular Sukshma Bhuta's Sattva Guna. But look at the mind. I can combine, through inference, I can gain knowledge from hearing, smelling, mixing together. That's because it came from a bag which is all this mixed. Okay. I just give this to give you some logic for it. Okay, now what is missing there? We got the Sattva Guna is finished, Rajoguna is finished. Therefore, we got the Sukshma Bhuta and Sukshma Sarira. What we need now? Sthula Bhuta and Sthula Sarira. Therefore, the clue is the Sthula Bhuta and Sthula Sarira must be coming out of what? Which bag is not showing yet? The Tamoguna bag. So Sukshma Sarira is finished in the Sattva Guna and Rajoguna. The Tamoguna bag is, he has not shown it. Therefore, the gross world that we see, the gross body we see, is coming from the Tamoguna of Panchamaha Bhuta. What is Tamoguna? Inertness, laziness, inertia. What is inert? What does inert means? Inert is something which cannot illumine itself. It cannot know by itself that it exists. It has no sentiency, no feeling to express. So, in the next version, next slogas, he is going to really talk about the same thing. So let's just read this now. Etesham Sattvika Amshat. Hereinafter, of this Sattvika Amshat. Etesham Panchatattvanam Madhye Akasasya Sattvika Amshat Sotrendriyam Sambhutam Vayuhu Sattvika Amsvat Vagindriyam Sambhutam Agnehe Sattvika Amshat Sakshus Indriyam Sambhutam Jalasya Sattvika Amshat Rasendriyam Sambhutam Pratibhya Sattvika Amshat Granendriyam Sambhutam. It's very easy for you now, is it not? So, of this Sattvika Amsham, of this, in the last first sentence, Etesham, of this what? Panchatattvam. Madhye. What is the Panchatattvam? Panchamaha Bhutam. Etesham. Sattvika Amshat. Everything based on the Sattvika Amsham. Akashasya Sattvika Amshat. In the Akashat Sattvika Amsham, Srotram. Srotram means what? Hearing. Indriyam. Hearing power, Sambhutam, is created. Now you can say it all this yourself. Vayohu, from the Vayu. Sattvika Amsvat, from the Sattvika Amsham. Vagindriyam Sambhutam. Agnehi Chakshus. So you can, each one is now, each Indriyam is coming from the other one. So there is nothing fancy about this. Then everything is mixed together. All the bags are all the green bags are put together now. Etesham Panchatattvanam Samashti Sattvikamshat. Samashti, all together. Sattvikamshat. Mano Buddhyahankara Chitta Antakaranani Sambhutani Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam Manaha Nischyatmika Buddhi Ahankaraha Chintanakatru Chittam Manaso Devata Chantramaha Buddhe Brahma Ahankarasya Rudraha Chittasya Vasudevaha. Okay, so here he gives a little bit more. He gives the first one, what he says, from the Sattvika Amsa of all those Mahabhutas, Manas, Buddhi, Ahankaram, Chitta. These four Antakaranani Sambhutani. The internal instruments, which we generally call the mind, divided into four parts, they are created. Then he explains in a very briefly, I will not dwell deep into this because we have enough to talk about it in coming days, but it's good to define what it is. Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam Manaha. Mind has come, Manas has come. What is the Manas? It is that which will make Sankalpam and Vikalpam. Sankalpa means affirmative thinking. Vikalpa means a negative thinking or negating it, or it's basically ambiguous state of mind. Should I go to this class today or should I not? Should I study this? Should I eat this or not? So this kind of thinking, never in a very deterministic way, is manaha, vacillating mind. Because it is not deciding what it is, what to do, it becomes an easy prey for things that is feeding you. You know, like you want to send to WhatsApp an important message to somebody, you open the thing, ping, a message comes in about interesting joke in the internet, you jump into that. Then there is something else, something else, something else. This is where the mind, the sensory organs pulls you away from many things. So when the mind is dragged along to different things, we are in the state of sankalpa, vikalpa, atmakam. So that state of the mind is called manas. But you have to have the state because, you know, options and choice are important in life. But you must be able to decide what you need to do. Dhrada buddhi you need to have. So that's the definition, therefore, nischayatmika buddhi. That which you decide and stick with this is buddhi. Yes, I will go to this class today. Done. There's nothing more. No sense can pull you anymore. Your mind is clean. Many a times, grief comes from the manas, not from the buddhi. Of course, if you have a bad buddhi and then you go to a bad thought, that's a different point. But it's much easier to get good buddhi and steady buddhi, but it's very difficult to have a steady mind. That's why before you start studying Vedantam and all big topics, just clean up your mind first. Take a sankalpam. In everything we do sankalpam. Sankalpam is just that determination that I am not going to have a vikalpam on it. I'm taking sankalpam, then I be put in the buddhi. So second part of the mind that is deciding is buddhi. But this sankalpam, vikalpam, buddhi, all that happens because there is something to think about, something to know about. There is something else other than me. Therefore, there's a difference comes in. Then once the difference comes in, I think, I do, that sense of ownership comes in. Aham karta, I am the doer. That is ahankara. We don't have time today, but I think when you think about this, the ahankara is the one that is coming out in the cusp of the dawn, the Brahma Muhurtam. That's why they say you get up in the early morning, you catch it. Then you're able to manipulate it. Chintana Katru. Now all this is not happening just like that. It's all stored in a memory, vasana. See, you are nobody if you don't have the thought. See, we discard the memory power and recognition as given. When you see somebody suffering from amnesia or dementia, you see the importance of memory. So the memory is a samskara. It's what makes you in the continuous part of life, sustainable part of it. It sustains you all the time. So it's a simple definition, but think about it, because when you get a better definition of it, it makes you interesting. But then as a bonus, because Antakarana is very important, the Guru adds a few other things called Devatas. When you do this mantra japam, you always say, who is the Devata, who is the Rishi, who is the Chantas. The Rishi is the one who has given these mantras like this. So there's a Rishi Rinam. Rinam means a debt. If somebody gives you the many saints who spend their life, we see sometimes we see the priests in the temple, they don't speak English, the language is poor, but they are committed to do the agamas. We somehow think that they are not educated. They are far more educated because they've given up this Laukika education. Instead of studying English and chemistry and physics and economics, they went and studied the Agama, Vedas. So when they also attain scholarship on this, so they are as good as any great academic scholars. So we need to really respect them very well. Why did I say this? Yeah, Rishi Renam. So for them, we need to really pay them back. What we pay them back is the debt. It's called Renam. So when you learn something, you teach somebody else, worship them, preach them. To worship that, you need to have, our mind is so weak, we need a Devata. So for Manas, the Devata is Chandraha. Chandra is called Kala. Kala means division, many varieties. So Chandra is mind. We call somebody is mentally unstable called lunatic, lunar, mati in Sanskrit and Tamil, Manas. So there are so much. If you look at this, so you can think of the cosmic persons. Mind is what? Chandra. So our mind is here. There is Chandra here. Only the Lord Shiva is able to take it up and wear it outside. We have inside our mind. The cosmic person's mind is the Purnima that we see. Buddhihi Brahma. This is not Brahman, it's a Brahma. This Trimurtis, the one of the Trimurtis, Chaturmukha Brahma is Buddhihi. Because he decides, he asked the question. Brahma is called Kasya. When he born, he said, we all cry, when they sound like kwa, kwa, kwa. That means, the gu means darkness. Why is he? Exclamation. So, am I getting this hell again? That's why the child is crying. The one who destroys the darkness is Guru. The Gu Shabdaha is darkness. When Brahma was born from the nabis of Parabrahma Mahavishnu, he asked the question, Kaha? Who am I? It's called Kasya. So from the birth itself, he is the Buddhi. That's why there's no temple for Brahma. Because Brahma is us. We must ask the question, Kaha? Ahankarasya Rudraha. Ahankara, I am the doer. I is Rudraha. Rudra is the one who gives you fear, dread, makes you weak, makes you cry. You think about in your life, all your sadness, your crying is not because of anybody else, because of yourself. Because you hold, I did this. See, when you're not stolen anything, when somebody accuses you that you are a thief, you can never cry. You will be so strong, no matter what the pressure on you, you're free. The moment I did it, so here the Rudra here mentioned to the Ahankara, the false notion of I, which makes you suffer the pain and the pleasure. But all this is percolating, sustained all the time, keep on coming like a Maya, is a Chittam, the memory, is Vasudeva. So here, figuratively, very beautifully, they're given the Devata for each of those parts. So the insight here is, therefore, when you want to purify this part, we worship this Devata. So we have now finished the Sukshma Bhuta giving the Sukshma Sarira. First part of it. Now we still have to have the Karmendriya. So we saw that it's from the Rajasic part. Again, it's very easy to read. We already done that. Etesham Rajashamshat Etesham Panchatattvanam Matye Akashasya Rajasha Amshat Vagindriyam Sambhutam Vayu Rajasamshat Panindriyam Sambhutam. Vane Rajasamshat Padendriyam Sambhutam. Jalasya Rajasamshat Upastendriyam Sambhutam. Prithivya Rajasamshat Gudendriyam Sambhutam. So here, of these Rajasa Guna of the Panchatattvam, from the Mahabhutas, from the red bags, from the Akasha, Vagindriyam Sambhutam. What is Vag means? Speech, the power of speech. The hearing comes in from the Sattvic part. Speech comes from the Rajasic part, because speech is what you hear. So Akasham give you that. From the Vayu, Panindriyam. Pani is your hand. Sorry, Vaneha, Padendriyam. The next Karmendriyam is the feet. Not the physical feet, the power to walk. Pani is the hand, the power to do things. The power to walk, the energy to move around come from the Rajas part of the Agni. Upastha Indriyam. Upastha means your genitals, where you urinate, all those things. So that Indriyas, the power to do this action come from the Jalam, the Rajasic part of the Jalam. Then the Prithvi, Rajasic part, comes Gudam, the organs of excretion. The power to excrete your malam is the Rajasic part. So Rajas means activity, action, passionate action, movement. So you can see why you only say 5 organs. Is it enough? You know, Vedanta gives you in groups. Everything can be combined to this: seeing, speaking, walking, doing action with the hand, the power of excretion, procreation. All this is all Karmendriya. We studied about this. I will not go into detail of it. Then what comes next? You take all this together and combine it. What do you get? Etesham Samashti Rajashamshat Panjapranaka Sambhutaka. So he's not explaining in great detail. We don't need to know in great detail. If you put all the 5 bags together, it creates the Panchaprana Indriyas. So we got all those things now. Panchaprana, Panchakarmendriya, Panchajnanendriya, Antakarana. The 19 parts all come from the Sattvic part, Rajasic part. So we have, how much time we have? Okay, I have finished up. So now we are moving to the Sthula Bhuta. Sthula Bhuta means gross part. Okay, let's just read this one. Etesham Panchatattvanam Tamasa Amshat Panchikrita Panchatatvani Bhavanti. So from the Tamasa Amsam, Panchikritam, the quantification or the grossification of using the 5 elements has come. Panchikaranam katam iti chet. What is this? If you ask what is Panchikaranam? Etesham, of this Panchamahabhut. Etesham Panchamahabhutam Tamasa Amsa Swarupam Ekam Bhutam Tvitva Vibhaje Ekamek Artham. So let's take one second. Etesham Panchamahabhutanam, of this 5 Panchamahabhutam, Tamasha Amsa Swarupam, in the form of the Tamasha Guna, Ekam Bhutam, each of those Bhutam, Dvita Vibhajaya, Dvita, split into 2. Each of those Bhutas split into 2. Ekam Ardham then half of each, ekam ekam ardham, each of those half, pritak dushnim vyavastapya. So they separately, dushnim means dushnim vyavastapya, in intact, remaining intact, aparam artham. So one half, each one split into two halves, and each half remaining intact, the other half in each one, chadurdam ibajyat. So the other half of each one split into four parts. So you have one part split into two halves. One half remain as it is. The other half split into four parts. Swa ardham anyeshu ardeshu subhaga chadustasya samajam. Swa ardham, so its own half part remain. Anyeshu, in the other ones, ardeshu subhaga chadustasya. So in the other ones, half parts is joined. I'll give you in a simple way. This is tada panchikaranam bhavati. So let's just see that. So take a Mahabhutas, you have 5 Mahabhutas. What is missing is a tamasa aspect. We take the tamasa aspect together. In the rectangle is the tamasa aspect. The Akasha splits into two parts. First half and the lower half. It is the tamasa aspect of Akasha. First half is remain as it is. The lower half cuts into 4 parts, 4 equal parts. Let's say 4 parts, okay? Same way everyone is doing. Vayu do the same way, Jala doing the same way, Agni doing the same way, Prithvi doing the same way. Why are they doing all these things? Because in each one there's a Rajas there. Rajas is activity. It can't remain idle. It has to do something. So it's split like this. So now you got, each one got 5 parts, 1 half and 4 quarter. Understand? Then they are doing Panchikaranam. What is the Panchikaranam means? 5-fold grossification. What happened? Akasha picks up 1 quarter from each one of the 4. Now you have taken Akasha, taken 1 quarter of Vayu, 1 quarter of Jala, 1 quarter of Agni, 1 quarter of Prithvi, so that it becomes a full capacity again. But now it has got no more pure Sukshma Akasha. It is largely Sukshma Akasha. It has got some part of Vayu, some part of Jala, some part of Agni, some part of Prithvi, and therefore it presents to us, this is Sthula Akasha. Sthula means gross Akasha. Akasha means space. Space means Avakasha, the gap that gives you. So if you see this space around you today, it is a Sthula Akasha. So if you catch one space in your hand, just imagine your hand, you got a ball of a space. If you divide that, you will see a dominant part is a space, but you will see some moisture, some fire, some breeze, some Prithvi element of it. That's why it is not, if you're able to see it, it is not Sukshmam, it's Sthulam. So everyone does the same thing. So now you can look at it. If you take a water, if you take a Jala, if you take a water, you take a water drop, and if you analyze it, it has got a space. Of course, if you don't have a space, water cannot have a volume. But there is air in it. You just analyze it. Hydrogen, oxygen. There's fire in it. There's Prithvi in it. There is a mass in it, mass to it. So the whole science, what is doing is, science is given the Panchikaranam, the grossified things in the world. So all the sciences can do is to take this grossified Akasha, Vayu, Jala, Agni, Prithvi. Of course, for a common mind to us, even this is very subtle. Okay? I just see a Deepavali Laddu. That's it. So that's for me, it is the maximum I can understand. Maybe somebody can understand it is bundi, it is made of sugar syrup, it is so it has so much thing. If you keep on going inside, in an atomic level, you see a nuclei. Of course, chemistry goes beyond. Chemistry says, okay, there are gaseous state. If you pass the gaseous state, you get the plasma. Plasma, only nuclei is there. There's no bonding. There are free electrons, but still gross. But this 5 here, grossified 5, is even beyond the plasma. So all the science is doing is trying to elevate our knowledge and application to deal with the grossified universe. But all this grossified universe that we see coming from the ungrossified Sukshma Bhuta, which is on the top 5, the ungrossified Sukshma Bhuta come from the undivided 5 Magabhutas. It all look very big, isn't it? But these 5 Magabhutas come from the Maya. Well, Maya is inexplicable anyway. But the Maya is the power of the Brahman. Even inexplicable, we can't even know it. But the Brahman is Atma. He creates some sort of a puzzle. That means Atma means I. Therefore, Aham Brahmasmi, if I realize it, this Maya is my power. All this Panchikarnam happens out of my creation. This is not right. That's what I think. This fear of accepting this grand truth is very difficult. That's why, but he says, in the last 2 lines, he says, okay, that is how I told you about this Sukshma Sarira, Panchikarnam, Edabhya Panchikrita, Panchabhaga Bodhyapya, Sula Sariram Bhavati. He also said how this Sula Sariram, here now he talked about the world, this cosmos created by the Panchikarnam. He says the same Panchikarnam way, our body is created. When the sperm of the father and the egg of the mother, when they get together, Panchikarnam happens. The context in which that unification happens can decide the power of this Panchikarnam process. When it is not in a peaceful mind, children are born with the karmas, of course, plays a role. You can't explain this, but this happens. So therefore, he just simply wipes clean because, okay, this is all fine, but if you get into this discussion on it, Maya will be very enticed. Said, come on, my children, I'll show you more and more. You'll go use so much of magic. Our whole life will be spent on studying this Maya Tattvam, Akhanda Brahma, forever. Therefore, he gives last sentence, Evam, for this Pinda, this body, Brahmandor, Aikyam Sambhutam. From this is born, what is born? The cognition, the realization, for those who are aspiring to understand it well, Pinda, Brahmanda, Aikyam. The grossified microcosmic bodies in subtle state and a sukshma state merges or one with the macrocosmic part of the universe. In other words, the Jagat. See, when you say Jagat, it is Ishvara, because Maya is all powerful, right? But where does Maya take everything else? Where does things come from? We are not Sankhyas. We are not saying Prakriti is independent of Purusha. No, Prakriti is within the Purusha. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, it abides in me. Like, I create the dream. Where do I get the dream stuff? I create the dream. I'm in Singapore and I'm playing in a casino. I have sumptuous food. All that happens in my world, in my dream. I create myself. So the Jnani says this world that we see is a dream of the Ishvara. We are basically in Ishvara's dream. So when he wakes up, that's why the pralayam happens. Layam means merges with this. So this is why, well, this is figurative one. So do I therefore ignore this life? No. You are in the divine dream. You play your role. Accept it. But then God goes, okay, you can also be a creator because you are no different than me. I'll give you a dream. You play with the dream. But I don't have any control of my dream. You don't go to the dream state and say, look, today let me dream this way. No, you can't do that. It happens. Why? Because we are not in control of our Maya. We are not in control of our mind. We can never be in control of our Maya. We are always our children. Whereas Ishvara is in control of Maya. Therefore, the only difference between Ishvara and Jiva in this respect is Ishvara, the wielder of power of Maya, power of Brahma, is all powerful. Maya is in his control. Or if you take Shakti, Maya is in her control. Whatever way you want to figure out this Brahman, masculine or feminine or Pumsikam, I don't know. But when you take a Jiva, absolutely clear, I am not in control. Maya is in control. Therefore, how can I say Pindam is Brahmandam? Brahmandam is Jagat is Ishwaram. Therefore, when I worship the world, I worship the Ishvara, same because, when Tirupati Laddu comes in, the Laddu comes in front of you, you see God. Is it not? So Karyam shows the same way. I mean, we should have the same devotion. When Deepavali food is given by your loving wife, and you should see the wife's love there, right? We see that. So in the world, I can see the God. I can see the God's power is controlling the Maya. I can see that Pindam is my body is same as the world, the Andam, because the Upadana Karanas is the same Maya. But it cannot be the same because I'm in mercy of Maya. Now, this step is rather a huge step to climb. That's why Vedanta builds up all these things for us. Yes, we are not Ishvara because we don't have the power of Maya. We are the slave of Maya. But Ishvara says, Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, when you surrender to me, I will allow you to transcend it. When you say he, the Maya and he, they are one and the same. The child will say, mother will say, fine, I will now release you from this. But he will do it not because you ask for it, but you qualify for it. Anything you need to qualify. People say, I go to the internet, I learned this pranayama, kundalini yoga, whatever they do. No, you can't do it because, when you do this pranayama, it releases more energy, more power to you. You can't handle it. Your body won't be able to handle it. Your mind won't be able to handle it. It's like, giving a child a double-edged sword and it'll harm yourself. You need to prepare to handle your progress also. Very important. That is why we go through these steps of Vedanta, one step at a time, learn. So here I'll complete it here. So what we have concluded, we will probably conclude it today with this statement that we have learned about the Samashti Vichara. We learned about the world, how it's created. Not in a mechanical way of formless, but in a conceptual way, in a metaphysical way, it's created. Sthula Bhuta and Sthula Sarira is myself and the world. They come out from the Sukshma Bhuta and Sukshma Sarira, my inner self and the world's inner self. They again together come from Panchabhutas. Therefore, this body-mind complex that I have, the whole universe and the universal sentiency, Maya, They are both inert. They are very powerful, but they're both inert. They all depend on the Brahman, the Ishvara. Therefore, they are mithya. Therefore, the notional I have, the jiva, has to be realized as an atma. Therefore, when I agree that pinda and aikyam sambhudam, it tells me, therefore, jiva ishvara aikyam sambhudam. Therefore, the teacher is going to take us to the pinnacle of Vedanta, especially Advaita Vedanta, the Mahavakyas. So we will study them in the next few classes, but it needs to be supplemented by so many other factors. Let's see how it goes from this. So I will finish it now. I'm sorry, it took 7 minutes more. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Maybe I will ask.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya.
Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya.
Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya.
Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityorma Amardangamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
போயிட்டு திரும்ப ரிவிஷன் பண்ணியானோ, திரும்ப போயிட்டு படிச்சானோ அடுத்த கிளாஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி இன்னொரு வாட்டி அதான் ரெஜிஸ்டர் ஆகும்.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Reinforce பண்ணிக்கணும் இப்போ.
Anyway,
சாயங்காலம்.
thanks for coming even after the